Everyone has their own journey. Absolutely, 100%. Don't try to be like anybody else. You are you. You are the expert of you. And people are going to naturally follow you for who you are. Think about it. The friends that you have in your life, they like you for all different reasons. You're going to find the same thing on social media.
Well, hello, and thank you for joining me on the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. I'm your host, Sam Hind, and boy, are you in for a treat today. Here's the thing I think I love most about what I get to do in my business. That is meet incredible people from all around the globe and bring them to you. Well, this incredible human being is one who touched my heart. I know he's going to touch yours too, but I think he's going to be a friend for life. He is so much fun, and he has created a social media personal brand and strategy that I think anybody can resonate with. While I was away in the US on our last trip, I met the amazing Bryan Martin. Bryan Martin is going to be sharing in this interview a little bit about how he has grown a personal brand on social media by simply being himself. And that in itself was a little bit of a journey. And I loved hearing how he worked that journey out. But Bryan, you might know if you've seen him on Instagram and Facebook as Sea Lion Bryan. I did ask him in the interview how he came up with that name, and I learned a little something new about him that was a bit fun as well. I'm not going to spoil that surprise for you today. But here's what I do want to tell you. Bryan shares how he grew an incredible following of literally millions of people on social media that is converting people into his business, and not one or two people a week or a month, but hundreds of people a month are joining his business, not because he's telling them to, but because they want to be a part of a movement and they want to connect with him. Well, some of the tips he shares in this interview I know are so easily doable. And I laughed the whole way through. I had a lot of fun the whole way through. I really connected with him. I know you will too. But what I really want to encourage you to do as you do listen to this interview is stop and ask yourself this. What can I learn from this? What can I do with this that is going to be congruent to who I am? You know, what Bryan does is not what's replicatable. What's replicatable is the fact that he learned how to be himself. And I want you to learn how to be you as well. Once you do that, people won't be able to help but follow you. So check out what Bryan did. Listen a little bit to his amazing story and just really reflect and ask yourself, what can I learn from this and how can I be me? So have some fun. I know you're going to love this episode. Sit back, relax, and enjoy introducing the amazing Bryan Martin, Sea Lion Bryan. Well, hey there, and welcome back to the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. And most importantly, welcome to you, Bryan. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on. This is wonderful. I appreciate it.
I'm super excited for this conversation. I know we're going to have a lot of fun together. Before we get stuck in, though, and we tell everyone a little bit about your story and why you're here, I've got to ask, I know you've briefly told me, but I know our audience are going to be wondering, why Sea Lion Bryan?
Well, Dolphin Bryan didn't quite have the same kind of a ring. I just growing up, I always wanted to work with marine animals. I was going to be a marine biologist, and no matter what I was going to do, I was going to be a dolphin trainer. That was my goal when I was in school. And the aquarium near me, New England Aquarium in Boston, they didn't have dolphins by the time I could interview, and it was my first real introduction to pinnipeds, seals, sea lions, and they stole my heart. So they became my favorite animal when I thought it would be dolphins. So Sea Lion Bryan just kind of stuck.
It just works. And I noticed that occasionally you show up with a mug with a sea lion on it, and you've really brought it into your brand, right?
I mean, all day.
Got it right there. I love it. It's so good. Bryan, you have become an absolute internet sensation with over 2 million followers across your social media channels, and it's probably grown beyond that now, through dancing every day. Now, that's become your signature. Do you want to just share a little bit with our listeners about how that all started? You did this for you. And so how does it translate into that moment where you literally hit record and said, I'm going to do this with the world?
Yeah, I went through a lot all at once. My dad had passed away pretty young. And then just 4 months after that, my partner, Clayton, at the time, had too much medication, and that was not his fault. And he went into liver failure, and they said I had 8 months left. So I had to kind of, I guess, disassociate and go outside of myself. Like I just gave up on me. I had to work full time at the aquarium, which is not 40 hours when you're taking care of baby penguins. It's 60 hours, which is wonderful. But then I would go home and I would need to take care of Clayton, bring him to the hospital.
Yeah.
And when he left, which is that, there you go. There's the words that just kind of fall out when you're widowed. It's when he passed away. I literally had no idea what to do with myself. We're never taught. There's no class in school about any of it. Grief, nothing. I didn't know what to do. And I was still, obviously figuring out what to do about my dad being gone. I knew I had to show up for work. So I definitely did that. And I poured into work. I needed a second job. So I started using Young Living essential oils to take better care of myself. And there was an opportunity for me to actually share a link and maybe make some extra money. And being by myself now, I was like, okay, I've got to focus in on that. So I was very, I'll say, distracted. It kept my brain going so I could get my footing. And I thought I was there. And then in 2020, the whole world shut down. So right as I was making these leaps and bounds into what I thought was progress, I realized I was running away from dealing with things and I was stuck at home. And I had friends that were very concerned about me because I was here, I was by myself, hadn't made a big friend group. And they're like, well, social media is a thing, so why don't you just jump on TikTok? And I was like, isn't that for 12-year-old girls? And they're like, no, not at all. Just look. And so I was watching people and seeing how free they were, because it's funny because they weren't free because we're all stuck at home. But in a way, it released them and they could just do whatever they want. No one cared. Everyone could just have fun. And I was like, well, why don't I deserve a little bit of fun. I posted a dance. I went to sleep and I woke up and I had like 10,000 followers. And I was just lit up because dancing is the one thing I've always loved so much. That was just me. I don't
Yep.
have any dance lessons, nothing. I just go with it. I love music. And so it was a chance for me to just have a little fun. And I was heavily reinforced, heavily reinforced. And that's how everything just kind of started growing. I decided I would do that at least once a day or so for myself. And if it helped other people, then great.
So this has been how many years now of you showing up every day and dancing?
Oh, probably really since 2020, February is when I think I started. So
Yep.
it's been over 5 years that I've been
Wow.
super consistent.
And you're not showing up predominantly on TikTok anymore, are you? What did that transition look like and why did you make the shift?
And I'm sure some people out there are like, wait a minute, what? You're not. I have 460,000 followers on TikTok and I do still show up. But what I was finding is, I mean, I'm almost 47. I was a MySpacer. I started Facebook
It's
as
been a
my
while since anyone's
thing.
mentioned that one. Yeah.
Facebook was definitely where I started.
Mhm.
And that's where I felt at home. That's where I had a lot of family and friends that I knew would support me as I was growing. I started sharing a widowed blog on my Facebook so people could read it, but I could never dance because they didn't have the same ability. So I wasn't able to show people on Facebook that I was doing two things. I was
Uh-huh.
trying to balance out growing through grief and remembering to be joyful again.
Mm.
So when Meta bought Instagram, my whole spidey senses went crazy. And I'm like, something's about to happen. And then they released Reels. and poured into it. I spent so much time just resharing my videos from TikTok to Facebook, lining the music up, and the content was already there for me. And I went from 0 followers in, what was that, 2021 when they switched everyone over? Yeah, I went from 0 followers to almost 1 million in a year. It was crazy.
Wow. Okay. Well, so I've got to ask the question, and this is why I get really excited about this conversation, because one of the things that I think is really intimidating for a lot of people when they come into social media to grow business is people like you, because they see you and they go, I can't dance. I don't feel comfortable dancing. I don't want to stand in front of a mirror and, in my bathers. Not that that's what you necessarily do, although you do
Hmm.
wear board shorts a lot of the time, and I kind of like the look. It's a lot of fun. But a lot of our audience are thinking, I don't dance. I don't want to have to stand in front of a mirror to dance to get following. Um, there's two parts to this question. The first one is, do you think that it's necessary that people need to do crazy things in order to gain a following? And the second, well, I'll ask you the second part in a minute because I don't want you to get distracted with the question. So we'll go with that first. Do people need to follow in your footsteps if they want to be successful?
No, they don't, because everyone has their own journey. Absolutely, 100%. Don't try to be like anybody else. You are you. You are the expert of you, and people are going to naturally follow you for who you are. Think about it. The friends that you have in your life, they like you for all different reasons. You're going to find the same thing on social media. You don't need to dance. I don't do things with my shirt off. I don't think it's necessary. But also, I want the largest audience I could possibly influence from a positive standpoint. That might also include older people who don't appreciate me dancing with no shirt on, younger people. I know
Yeah.
teachers that share my jokes and dancing with their students. I want
Yeah.
to make sure that I'm creating content that represents me, but it's
Mm.
available for everybody to watch.
Yeah.
Um, and something that I think is very important when I started, especially in the direct sales with the Young Living, there's a lot of amazing women who grow businesses, just juggernauts in Young Living that are very social media forward, but they were very social media forward on Instagram. They were also the people I was learning how to do the business from. I
Yeah.
had to get over the fact that I wasn't, I don't know, 5'9", 100 something pounds, blonde hair, three perfect kids, and a big brimmed hat. That was not me. But these women were out there, they're just owning it and being exactly themselves. That's what I learned from them because I knew I wasn't going to be able to emulate the same thing.
So let's just come back a step. You felt exactly that same way before, where you've gone, I can't be that. And so instead of making the decision to not show up at all, which is what a lot of people do, they just go, look, I can't be like Bryan, I can't be like Sea Lion Bryan, so I'm just not going to show up. So you've been in that same position, but you made the decision to figure out you.
I had to. I had to figure out me, and what I took from them is they were 100% authentic. That
Uh-huh.
was it. They were out there sharing their crazy lives and, top knots, kids with stuff all over, just walking through the screen. Like, I was like, they're just living their life, and I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
love that they're just a real person and they're not insta perfect. And
Yeah.
that's what really clicked with me. I was like, I can be me all day long.
It's quite, like you said, liberating, releasing, right? I love what you said before about how people seem so free when they were being themselves, dancing or doing whatever that was for them. The second part to my question is probably the biggest part of all, and this is like I think the most challenging part of watching people do create content like what you're creating is, okay, but that might get a following, but how does that translate to business? How did you make that transition? What does that look like for you? How do you grow your business using what you do every day?
That was actually something I had to learn how I wanted to grow that, but
Yeah.
also I think I still am learning because as we are sharing, there's stores, everyone's an affiliate, like people are getting accustomed to things. The the direct sales or sharing on social media, whatever if it's sending somebody to your website or maybe you're a published author, like whatever it is that you're doing, the landscape for why people want to buy, or if they're going to, or if they're even interested, is always going to evolve. There's always going to be something, a trend, a change, politics. So when I first started, I mean, I've been doing Young Living long before I had a following, which I actually had to bring up to my following like a few years later. I was very hesitant at first. And I was
Mm,
like, first of all, I just want everyone to know who I am and that this is part of me. This, whole wonderful world that I have. I can't go and make that the push. And when I started with Young Living, everything was like an unboxing, and it was just I had everything in everyone's face, but
mm,
because I was so excited about it, and I get that.
yeah.
But looking back now, I wasn't sharing all parts of me,
Mm,
and I backed off on being that salesy guy, and I just wanted to be sharesy. That
yeah.
was it. I just wanted to share. And so I did my dances, did my jokes, posted pictures of animals, shared some things that I loved a little bit here and there. I didn't make it my whole existence. And that has blended it in where people can pick and choose which parts of me they want to interact with. And
Yeah.
that makes me feel good because then I know we're being honest with each other.
Yeah. So tell me, what are some of the ways that you incorporate your business in? And by the way, has that worked? Like, is your following, your dancing every day, then through your methods and what you're doing, is it working to grow your business? I know you've got an incredibly successful business. Do you want to share a little bit about that with our audience?
Yeah, I think because I've showed up as myself,
Yeah.
we build a relationship, people can trust me, and then they
Mm.
start to ask questions.
Yeah, I love
And that's where the magic happens. It's because they're coming to me.
that.
They
Mm.
know the things that I love. I'm not like, "Hey, you should just get this." I'm sharing different aspects. Are you interested in learning this? Would you like to learn this? And I offer some of my time for free because I
Yeah.
want people to know that I'm a real person and I'm not just in it for the sale. I want them to be well. I want them to live a life where they're not feeling icky. I want them, if they want to, be an affiliate, I want them to have all of that if that's of interest to them.
Mhm.
And that's really where I think it feels good because they're asking me, they're coming to me about it versus me trying to chase them like so many other salespeople will do.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you seed the business. How do you bring it up in your videos and in your content?
I tend to share more when I'm live because then it's a right there and then
Mhm.
conversation. And I also tend to do more in stories. I feel like the people that are invested in lives and stories, they're not just scrolling, they're stopping by. They want to know what's going on. And that's where I've also found most of the people who are either customers and they want to use stuff or they're interested in being a brand partner and an affiliate. I share a little bit more in those spaces where my dancing is my dancing. And yes, I have a diffuser in my kitchen. It's always there because why? That's who I am. It's not staged. It's been there before I was dancing. So they see it. Everyone sees stuff peppered in my life, and it's just normal.
Yeah.
And that I think has been I think that was a really, really smart move
Yep.
versus going in hot and heavy. And yeah, like I said, it just feels better.
Yeah. So tell me, like you've mentioned, and I love what you say, to be sharesy, not salesy. What in practical everyday posting, what does that approach look like?
So sharing and regular day posting, oftentimes it's my life.
Hmm.
I like to think about my social media as my friends just stopping by my house. And every time they stop by my house, if I'm only talking about the same thing, they're going to stop stopping by my house. I don't want to go over to my friend's house and hear about the baseball game all the time, but I might really want to hear about his fishing trip.
Yep.
Like, so having those different conversations throughout the day, basically turning myself, I guess, into a daily reality show.
I love that.
I'm not worried about it. I know
Yeah.
people are gonna like certain things. They're not gonna like other things.
Yep.
Sometimes we like certain movies and we don't like other movies, but we like the same actor. And we're willing to show up and see what it's about and give it a shot. And that's my favorite part because it got rid of all the fear. Like
Yep.
when I'm live, I'm inviting people into my home to catch up. Hey, let's have a cup of coffee together. Like, what are
Yep.
you guys doing? And I talk to them.
Yeah, so good. And so, what does it look like when you're sharing a product or you're talking about a product? Are you selling it right there, or are you just simply sharing what you love or how you use or how you do? And what sort of results do you personally see come from that? Do you get reach outs? Do people connect with you? How do you turn that into business? And does it turn into just customers? Does it turn into team? What's that journey look like in your world?
Yeah, I like to give people a background on things.
Yeah.
My background is biology, so I can speak to those things. I do have that education, not that you need it, but I have made sure that I understand some of the science. And so I can talk about why I use it from a personal standpoint, but also physiologically, why I choose either this supplement or I choose to use this oil. I will, I'll go more into maybe a little bit on stories that other people have shared about the
Mhm.
same product. So I'll
Mhm.
give them like slight testimonials to open that door, like, hey, this might be for you too. But it's always coming out as I want you to learn and then
Yeah.
go from there.
Yep.
You learn, I've done my job. I've provided you with the information.
Yeah.
If you are interested, come back to me. And
Yeah.
that just has made a huge impact on my business, a huge change.
Yeah. And so, like for you in business growth, this results then in, are you sharing links? Are people just reaching out to you? How is that turning into business in your world?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I have found that there are people who are scared to click links, and I get it.
Mhm.
So I'll mix it up, or I'll tell everyone you have an option if you want. You can either click on my link and head over here to see some of the science and clinical studies, or
Mhm.
click on this if you know that you want this. If you're not sure, you have more questions, shoot me a message, send me an email, whatever it is that you need, and we'll figure out how to talk about it so you feel comfortable in your scenario. And I also do that with social media.
Mm.
When I really started growing, I would share on Facebook how to find me on Instagram, and I would share on Instagram how to find me on Facebook because people have a social media where they feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
And a huge part of my animal training is if an animal does not feel comfortable, they're in a fight or flight mode, they aren't listening.
Yeah.
They don't feel safe. You're not going to be able to help them if your goal is to teach them. So if I show up everywhere and they can find me where they feel safe, they're more likely to reach out to me and I can help them.
So, on that, what does your cadence look like? Are you showing up on a daily basis on each platform separately, being Facebook and Instagram? Are you sharing the same content across both? How do you work that?
Let's take all the pressure away. I'm sharing the same content
Yep.
because not everyone wants to be on Instagram, not everyone wants to be on Facebook, not everyone wants to be on TikTok.
Yep.
If people are chasing you from platform to platform to watch the same thing and then complain that it's the same thing, those people are weird. They have way too much time on their hands.
Yeah. I love that. So, just talking about the algorithm, there's two things here that you've just brought up that we know can be problematic. But when you're sharing, you are organically sharing to each platform, right? Same piece of content, but you're uploading it separately. You're not hitting that share from one to the other.
Mhm. Not usually. I will play with it. I
Yep.
will play anytime there's something new that comes out, like trial reels.
Yeah.
Trial
Yeah.
reels feel weird,
Yeah.
but
Right.
when you let it go, they're basically marketing for you to a whole new audience.
Yeah.
And I do have a business Facebook, Sea Lion Bryan LLC, which is different from the big one. And I was like, let's play with trial reels. What's the
Yep.
worst that's going to happen? What? I'm not going to gain a follow. I might lose some people. Let's just see.
Yeah.
That went in 2 months. That went from, I believe it was around 6,000, and I think I just hit 34,000 in two
Wow.
months
So
sharing the same content.
Yeah. So how long? So when you share a trial reel, you're doing this on Instagram, I'm assuming.
And Facebook.
You're doing it on both. Okay. And
Mhm.
so how long are you leaving it as a trial for? Have you got it set for an automatic post once it hits a particular popularity level? How are you working that?
I keep an eye on things and I'll do one at a time. So I might have a trial reel running from the morning, and maybe I do a joke later with my husband. I won't have that as a trial reel. So I'm not
Okay.
like, what's trial, what's not. Let's just see what's going. Then the next round, I might have the dance that I do, and that's just regular, and I might throw the joke on trial
Yeah, I
and
love
let
it.
that like, and if you think about it, the word, it's a trial, like, yes, it's a
Yeah.
test, but literally it's like it's going up in the court of social media at a trial to
Yeah.
see which side likes it better, and they merge it all together and start sending it one way. What a They're doing the work for you. Let
Yeah.
them.
And so are you then looking at it a day or two later and going, this one went well, I'm going to post it to my main feed?
It's after the trial reels that I've found, when you turn it off, it collects the data and then it just keeps going in the direction that it was, and boom, it's on my main feed.
Yeah.
It's done for me, so
Yeah.
I don't really worry so much about that. It's
Yeah.
okay to let some of your content wander. Let it explore. You
Yeah.
never know what it's going to find.
So
You
good.
never know who it's going to land on. And
Yeah.
it might be a celebrity.
Yeah, well, that's true, and you just don't know who's going to see it. I love the concept of trial reels. I've been personally playing with this as well, and I found it's really interesting. But I've worked out you do have to be a little bit selective about what you put as a trial reel, because that's almost your test to attract the right audience to you. And if you put something up that's super generic, that has the potential to attract people that are not going to become customers or team for your business, then it's probably something better to go on your main feed if that's a good quality piece of content. Um, and what I mean by that is, so for example, I've been testing trial reels with more of the things that share tips from my perspective. So I might do like a tip or a piece of social media update or a business growth strategy, or share a little behind the scenes of speaking at an event. But I won't necessarily put a trial reel up that is, something funny that the kids do, bombs in the swimming pool or something like that, because I might end up attracting people who are not looking to grow a business through that, but rather, people who are, parents or just looking for something funny, maybe even teenagers, that think it's hilarious that the kids are bombing like this in the swimming pool. So, are you sort of applying a similar concept to this? Going, look, this is something that I'm willing to use for a trial because it's going to help me attract the right people, or you're just throwing everything out there and testing everything?
I will do less product as a trial reel
Yeah.
because I feel like I owe it to people to build up a relationship,
Yeah.
and that it's not the first thing. I mean, if they find it and the first thing is a post that I did and they want to buy something, that's wonderful. If my science and education did that, then high five to me. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to bring in as many people as possible, because if I
Mm.
can help them, and I think maybe that's a little bit of where I might be a bit different from some other people. Like, if somebody loves my dancing, I got a message this morning from a woman who sent me a thank you. That was it. She said she's been following me for a long time, and her mom had just passed away a month
Mhm.
ago. And she reached out and said, I just want you to know, while my mom was in the hospital, the things that she'd want to do is watch your dancing. So
Oh,
you
wow.
brought smiles in her last days. Like, whew.
Yeah.
um, I don't ever need that person to ever want oils.
Yeah,
Like,
that's amazing. I love that.
it's if
Value
I can
first.
help somebody's day be
Yeah.
better somehow,
Yeah.
then everyone come and hang out. So I'll put things out there. I'll do trial reels more on dancing, goofy things, just our life, snowstorms in Florida, just like the crazy fun things that we do, so they get to know me. And
Yeah.
then if they're watching and they start to see my closer knit stuff, instead of it being kids jumping in the pool, the closer thing to me is my passion for
Yeah. Yeah.
using
It's
natural
almost
stuff.
like the oils and the business are your insider information for those people that you've already started to nurture. And I think, like, Bryan, it's really funny because when you and I first met at convention, we got chatting about this. And I think you said you were a little worried when I was getting on stage, like, what is she going to say? But the funny thing is that, we see it all very much the same way, right? You need to nurture that audience. You need to build the relationship, date the customers first, right? And
Hmm.
earn the right to sell to them. And you actually said something really, I was hoping you would say it without me bringing it up, but you said
Oh.
something really funny to me when we were chatting the other day about, I'm going to get to the grocery store comment you made. You know the one I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So before we get there, I want to come to team for a sec because you have built an amazing business. Like you are, you've got sales that are happening just by themselves because you're sharing the way you are. You've got people joining the business. Literally, and we don't want to give numbers away on here, but like your business is growing at a rapid pace just through what you're doing. But how do you translate that when you're teaching your team how to grow on social media? What are you saying to them? Because they're looking at you going, well, I don't dance, so how am I going to grow a business? What are some of the things that you do to teach, train, and support them to grow a business without them having to be you?
Hmm. They have to be willing to try,
Yeah.
because that's the first step. But if they're willing to try, I have sat down and done calls on how to do reels,
Yeah.
how to do a post and not sound salesy,
Uh-huh.
how to take a picture and change the filter on it. These people, they they haven't had the experience as me, the
Yeah.
same as me. So I really can't uphold them and assume that they're going to go and understand all of that. So I have to break it down into small steps, approximations.
Mhm.
You teach kids A, B, C, D, E, F. Adults, they want A, B, C, X, Y, Z,
Yeah.
or they start to just come unglued. So I remind them that the learning process is going to take a little bit of time. And I celebrate them. Let me know when you're posting. Send me the link. I can't wait to see what you've got. Like, you want to go live together? Let's go live together.
I
Like,
love it.
and I have had brand partners now and other affiliates that they were very quiet, never posted, and now they're dancing only because they love it. And
Yeah.
I've been shocked. I was like, what? My buddy Michael? What's Michael doing? And there he is, and he's just having a great time and
Yeah.
and loving it. So I think working with them and knowing who they are and helping them express themselves in a safe spot with you,
Yeah.
they know you're going to cheer them on in social media. They at least already have someone in their corner,
Yeah.
and that makes it a little less scary.
Okay. So what about when they say to you, Bryan, you've got like over 2 million followers across your channels. Of course, this works for you. I don't have 2 million people following me. How am I going to do this?
I had no following, and I went to I hit the fourth rank in Young Living in 4 months. And sometimes that can take people 3, 4 years.
Yep.
And I did not have a following. I
Yep.
was dedicated and I put the effort in. So if I can do that, anybody can do that without a
Yeah.
following.
Yeah. And you said something to me when we caught up last week, but I love this so much. So I just want to bring it back up. You said that you often remind your team not to compare their day one to your day 1000. Because this is not something that just happened overnight, right? Like, yes, you experienced rapid growth, but you had to learn along the way. I'm guessing you made
Hmm.
some mistakes and it wasn't all smooth sailing.
I made a ton of mistakes. And that's normal, but I'm here now because I learned from them. We're all going to make mistakes. Again, it's that like ABC, XYZ. Like, you're going to stumble and you're going to have to go back and you're going to
Yeah.
have to remember what you're doing and what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you cannot compare. Again, that's like me comparing myself to all those amazing business women. I'm like, I'm not going to look like her on Instagram.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do to really bring myself forward? What am
Yeah.
I going to do? And that's what I impress on them. Everyone has value. And as soon
Yeah.
as you value yourself and your number one follower, you're going to influence yourself to do incredible things.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. And you talk about sharesy, not salesy. You also talk about building the relationship. So having people come to you that are interested in you. They're buying you, right? They're not buying the product yet. That comes down the track because they trust you. Do you want to share your little grocery store analogy that you gave to me the other day?
Yes, I love this one. So people have a lot of companies, you get a starter bundle or you do grab all this or do that or whatever. But for Young Living, you don't have to do that. People can make a free account and learn. And that's what grew my business. I'm like,
Mm,
come on in. And why don't you just learn first? And I equate that to going to a grocery store or really any store, but I say grocery store. Imagine if you went to a grocery store and before you walked in, they said, which salad dressing are you going to buy? And you're like, what? You're like, you have to buy salad dressing in order to get into the store and see what's in the produce aisle. That's ridiculous. I am not going to buy. When does a store have a cover charge? Hold on, this is so strange, right? Like this isn't a night out at the bar. You could dance at the grocery store if you want to. I have done that, but that's what I equate it to. Like you're not going to buy something before you go in. Let them in. Open your doors. Let them in and let them see and let them learn. Just
yeah.
because they walk out doesn't mean you failed. They might be busy. Maybe they got a call from their kid. Maybe they don't feel well that day. Maybe they're late for work. Maybe, I don't know. But like, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
People go to stores, walk away, and come back all the time. And the general manager, is not crying in a corner because they walked out and didn't purchase anything. They gave them a good experience and they said, "You're welcome to come back. Thank you for joining us." And that's it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So good. I love that. Now, I want to come back to something you said before, which was we were talking about links. And I think a few of my listeners who are tuned in right now went, whoa, 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 Sam, you tell us that we shouldn't be sharing links in our main caption in our post because Facebook is not going to show it. It's going to hide it. You mentioned, of course, you're converting 100 plus followers per month into signups. How are you doing that? With sharing links. How do you share links? What are you up to?
This is where I get smart and also saying, hey, there's links, but you can message me. So
Mm-hmm.
people start to hear that pattern. And if I don't
Yep.
put a link up because I want that to go a little bit higher, I'm like, hey guys, just message me. They know they're always welcome to message me. But I'll go
Yep.
through the comments and I'll see what's there. I will also direct them, like on Facebook, I will direct them. I'll write my post, I'll have my images or my video, and then I'll say, head to the comments.
Yep.
The link is there or message me. I always give them more than one way to get involved with something, and
Yep.
that gets me through. The other part of it is social media is social. So if you post and ghost, why in the world is the algorithm is not going to like you? Because why? You're not there engaging. That's the point of social media.
Yep.
So when I do, especially if I put a link and I'm going to test a link in a post, I'll sit there and I'll react to everyone. I will comment to everybody so that I do the opposite and fight the algorithm push down because
Yep.
there's a link in the content. Because if I can teach it to keep letting it go, maybe I can start having bending the algorithm a little bit and get more of my stuff out there without it being pressed down. Seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah. Wow. Well done. And so, your strategy for getting links pinned to ensure that they keep working for you. Do you want to share a bit about that?
Yeah, if you're on obviously Instagram, you can't do links. I feel like someday something's going to happen because
Uh,
there's some other things brewing that I'm hearing that's like Facebook and driving people places. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, with Facebook, you can actually pin your first comment as long as it doesn't have a link in it.
mm-hmm.
So already Facebook's going, no, I don't want you to pin a link, but you can do your first comment, pin that, and be your first response to that comment.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
so I'll write, hey everyone, thanks for coming down here to the comments. The link is below with an arrow. I'll pin that. And then
Yep.
I'll respond to myself and say, click on this, with a little details and the link's there, and it'll always stay
Yep.
right at the top of that post. So that's
Yeah.
a great little trick.
Yeah, I love that. So Let's just come back to something else that you said before. You mentioned at the very start of this conversation that everyone is the expert on themselves. How does that mindset shift, and how do you encourage people to use that to find their own voice on social media and work out what sort of content they should be creating?
It's really important for people to look inside themselves first, because if everything you're doing is for outside acknowledgement and people approving you, you're never going to reach what you want. You're never like you have to show up with confidence. And there is no one if you like a strawberry flavored banana whatever and it's your favorite thing, share about it. I can't stand banana, but thank you for being honest. I will make sure that you get all the banana jokes that I happen to find, all the recipes with banana in it. I will send it to you because I know that you like it, and that will change everything. If you're going to full on be yourself, there's enough people in the world.
Yeah.
Here's the problem: people are afraid they're going to be judged, and they don't want mean people in their life. You
Mm-hmm.
can delete them. You can block them. There will always be mean people in the world. There's billions of people, but there's billions of others that would just love you
Yeah.
if you give them a chance to find you, but they can't find you if you don't share. So be excited about yourself. Start sharing. Like, get out of your own way. Get out of your own way.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. You're speaking my language. So good. Um, uh, just show up anyway, right? I don't know where that
Just
came
show up. Just show
from.
up and post it.
So you said to me the other day that you still start your day by asking, how do I feel today before you hit post? What does that look like? Instead of setting rigid post numbers and, saying I will do XYZ every day, how do you work out your cadence and your strategy? Do you pre-plan it ahead of time? Do you just show up every day randomly? How is that strategy formulated in your world?
There have been times that I take photos of everything all day. Everything's content. You never know when something's going to happen, or, you know, randomly you come up with something that you're like, oh, this is kind of fun. Here's a great one. I took a picture of me eating a hot dog. I don't usually eat hot dogs, but I got a special magic steamer from the like 1950s. It was so nostalgic. I was so excited. And then I love mustard. My husband loves ketchup. I hate ketchup on a hot dog. It's disgusting. And so I
I'm
was
going to
going
tell you
through
the
my
secret. I like them
pictures.
together.
I don't understand. I like all the. I will send you all the ketchup hot dog recipes. I won't do it, but but so I had those pictures because it was something that was just fun in my life. Like I thought it was funny. I was like, "Gross, you're eating ketchup," and I was like, "Wait a minute, that's a perfect discussion." And I held up a bottle of ketchup and a bottle of mustard, and I was like, "Which one are you?" And it was just me right then and there. That's what I shared because that's what popped in because I was cleaning the kitchen, and
Yeah.
that showed up in my head. So I have gotten some things that I have scheduled, but again, I want to show up when I show up because that's me.
Yeah.
I'm walking into social media means I'm walking into the room. Not everyone's arriving to me. I don't want
Well,
like I don't. I think we have to be really careful that you're not super self-focused,
mm-hmm.
thinking everyone in the world either loves you or hates you. It's I'm showing up in the room,
Yeah.
and here I am, and whoever wants to come hang out in this corner, let's hang out.
Yeah. I'm going to steal that. I love that so much. Social media is you showing up in the room, not everyone arriving to you. And that also
Hmm.
changes that mentality, right? If you're arriving in the room, there could be one person there or 100 people there, but it doesn't change the fact that you're walking into the room. You still show up. But if you're expecting everyone to show up to you, you're going to be disappointed every time because you might not get anyone show up that day. You might not
Hmm.
get any comments on that post. Mind you, of course, we know comments don't necessarily equal eyes. Just because they're not interacting doesn't mean they're not watching, right? And I'm guessing
Hmm.
this is something. Well, actually, what do you say to people? Because I already know your answer to this, so I'm gonna ask you for the benefit of our beautiful listeners. But what do you say to people that are getting frustrated with I put a post up and nothing happened?
I say, and if it's anybody that happens to be in my brand partner team,
Yeah.
which that's usually the case at first.
Hmm.
They put it up there, and oh, how long has it been up there? An hour. Did you comment on your own post? No, why would I? I'm like, aren't you your number one fan? Comment on your own post. Like your own post. Don't use a thumbs up or a heart emoji. That's what everyone else does. Do a laugh, do a surprise emoji, because it makes it look like more people are interacting.
Yeah.
Like that's just math, that right there. But you have no idea what anyone's doing. And if you think people aren't around because they're not commenting, my next question is, how long did it take you to sign up with Young Living with me? Every single time. 2 months, 3 months, maybe it was a
Hmm.
year. I've had people create a free account and then not do anything. As a matter of fact, this week, I had a woman who signed up in 2023 and never ordered.
Hmm.
And she reached out and she's like, I'm so sorry. I go, what are you apologizing for? She's like, I signed up and I never talked to you. And I said, that's fine. It's your time, right? Like, what do you need? She goes, actually, I just lost my job and I also want to use products, but now I need a business. So I'm here and I'm ready. And she's off and running. And within the first day of her starting, she already has 3 people.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it was, I gave her time. So
Mhm.
when they say that to me, I'm like, would you have been mad if I didn't make you, if I abandoned you because you didn't comment on the first post you ever saw?
Yeah.
I don't know when people start watching me. And it's selfish to think that way. And we have to catch ourselves. And I've caught myself. Oh, I want more followers. Get over yourself, Bryan. Stop. Like, you're fine. Like, you might change one person's life. And that's the
Yeah.
important. You have no idea what that person's going to do.
Yeah.
There is no one follower who has more value than any other follower, regardless of who they are, where they are, what they look like, where they live, what they believe in, and what platform they love.
Yeah.
If they love Facebook, they're not less of a person because they're not on Instagram if that's your favorite. Get
Yes.
over yourself. Show up for everyone else, not you.
Oh, so good. I love that. There's so many things in here. I just want to like get on repeat because it is my language. So awesome. There's so many golden nuggets in here, Brian. So just before we get to my 4 favorite questions, I've got another question I want to ask you that popped into my head a little while ago when you were talking about commenting and you're telling people to message you, you're telling them to comment on your posts. And for someone like you who has got the following you've got, millions of people, and if you're converting 100 plus people a month, there's obviously going to be a lot more comments than that. Do you automate any of your messages, your comments, your responses? Do you use any tools like that to help you keep on top of them, or are you manually doing all of this yourself?
I'm doing most of it myself, and I don't have help. People think I have a team that runs my social media. That I just right now I feel like I should be answering for people, or if it's someone else, I would have them announce that they were not me because I want to make
Mm.
sure that people truly believe who I am, my integrity, and my authenticity. There's nothing wrong with having bought stuff. Like, I use ManyChat on Instagram because it's just easier for
Yeah.
people to get the link, whereas Facebook, they're right there.
Mm.
Um, so I try. I do a lot on my own. Maybe I could automate some more of it and learn how to do that. But yeah, I'm there answering. The other thing is, I used to worry about missing comments and going, oh no, if I missed that one comment and that person wanted to join, that's it. The world's over. If they commented and they also know I have a lot of followers, people are smart.
Yeah.
If they really want it, they're like, he's too busy. I'm just going to reach out to him.
Uh-huh.
So I
Yeah.
don't chase. I show up. I invite everyone, and the people who are honest and true step forward. And then
Yeah.
I know that my time is better used with them versus chasing hopefuls.
Yep. Yeah. So good. And I think this is a big thing here. I really want to impress this point on people. I think people are always thinking ahead to the what if, and I need to bring tools into play. And you mentioned ManyChat, which is obviously a brilliant tool to use, particularly on Instagram. We occasionally use it with Facebook as well when we're running big challenges. But um, I still, people don't get it. They come to me and they go, "Why? Who's responding to my comments when I go to your Instagram, Sam, or when I go to your Facebook?" I'm like, it's me. No, no, no. Who in your team is doing it? No one in my team is doing it. Okay, what tool are you using? I want to know how you're doing it so I can set it up in my own business. And the answer is, hey, these are humans. These are people. These are people that want to do business with you, and you're not going to send them off to go and deal with somebody else, or give them a link to go and click on so they can take care of themselves. While there might be some value in that occasionally, you want to be here. Like if someone wants to come up and talk to me at an event, and this is another thing I get, it confuses people a lot. When I go to a convention or an event, I do the same thing. It's the same philosophy. The second I get off that stage, I walk out the front and I talk to people. And I was at a recent event right before your event, Bryan, and there was a speaker on stage right before me. Now, this speaker is someone who typically charges $500,000 to get on stage just to speak for exactly the same amount of time that I do. But that person walked backstage. They then got ushered out, got in their car, and off they went. I got off stage. I went out the front and I chatted with people. I signed books. I got photos with people. I said hi. I answered questions for about an hour and a half. And the people running the event said afterwards, "Oh my gosh, we would have come and saved you and helped you if we knew that you were doing this. We didn't realize you were getting bombarded." I was like, no, 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 no. These are my people. I am here to show up for them. And if they want to come and talk to me, I want to be here to talk to them. And it's the same on social media. I don't show up. And I feel like showing up on stage and then walking out the back and not coming out the front is like posting and ghosting, right? Same sort of concept.
Mm-hmm.
But people want to get to know you. They do business with you, right? When they know you, and you've said this, people can be watching you, Bryan, for weeks, months, sometimes years before they make a decision to do business with you. But if you're not showing up as you, that then becomes non-authentic, right? People are looking at it going, well, he's showing up like he's a human, but then when I comment, there's no human there. And
Yep.
it just doesn't match up. To me,
Your
it doesn't.
integrity is gone.
Yeah.
And that's when people start to feel like, ew, ew, it's a little gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a time for automation. I think a lot of the automation that I do is in the comment section.
Yep.
So I have trigger words that I do not, that are inappropriate, that I never want on it. So that filters a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but other than that, it's me.
Yeah.
I want to talk to people.
On that, with such a big following and doing what you do, you're going to get some negativity, right? How do you handle that?
There are days where it's rough and kind of hard, especially at first because you're putting yourself out there. I mean, we've all been picked on. It's probably nothing I've never heard before. And also, I just kind of remember how I felt in high school and being bullied. And I'm like, well, what would I say to those people now?
Yeah.
The things that I would say would be very different than what I did back then because I was scared. But I'm
Yeah.
safe now. I'm safe. I'm safe on social media. If somebody says something they don't like, I'll hide it. If it's your Aunt Tina and she's being cranky about your business because she doesn't like it, then just hide her comment. She
Yeah.
doesn't know. And so
Yeah.
she's not reinforced because she's not getting attention for it. Just ignore her or
Yeah.
block them. If they're really bad, I use that to my advantage sometimes. I actually reposted the reel of my husband and I getting engaged. It was staged as our joke, and he didn't know it was going to happen. And on the anniversary, 3 years later, I posted it again to be like, I can't believe this was 3 years later. And I needed something to post. I didn't want to post anything that day.
Yeah.
And it landed in a different country, in an area where two men are not a thing.
Mm.
And they were tagging their own friends. I had hundreds of people being tagged to come at me and take me out on that post. But what it did was it drove me. I said, thanks for commenting. You just boosted my post. I just made money.
Oh,
I just teased them. I
yeah.
teased them the whole way that I was winning. I was like, you
Uh-huh.
don't like gay people? You're going to pay for my mortgage. Haha. Like, that's not
Oh,
true. He doesn't know that's true. None of them know that's true or
yeah.
not. But like, I'm like poking the bear, and they kept adding more people. So then my people came in and started doing their own thing. So now it's a storm of comments. The algorithm is going nuts. I gained 5,000 people on Instagram from just that one post.
Wow. Okay. So sometimes there's value in just thanking people. I want to bring up something there. This is actually something that popped into my head the other day. You just reinforced it, so I think I need to reiterate this because it's no accident, but I do definitely get a lot of people asking me, what do I do when I get negativity? What do I do when someone comments and says, oh, I hate that brand or I hate that business or you're just in pyramid selling? Or the thing is, people are, when they see a comment like that, just think about the car crash, right? When people see a comment like that, what's their first thing they're looking for? How are you going to respond to it?
Mm-hmm.
Forget the person that made the comment. It's not about them. They're not your person. But think about the person who's watching you and what opinion they derive from your response.
Mm-hmm.
Are they looking at it going, oh my gosh, my opinion of you just dropped because you got in there and you got nasty in response, and it doesn't. Sometimes we look at it because we're watching the car crash, right? We're going, I want to watch this because it's really entertaining,
Yeah.
but now I don't feel quite as comfortable with Bryan anymore, and I don't feel like I want to do business with Bryan anymore or be his
Mm-hmm.
customer because he just slammed that person who didn't really deserve his time. So just remember, it's not about the response. Sorry, it's not about the comment and you being right. That don't
Mm-hmm.
try and turn that person around. You can't change that person's opinion, and there's no point. But your response is going to change the way other people see you. And so I love how you did that. And you're like, thank you for commenting. It's
Yeah,
just so
it's
gracious of you.
a real good one. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that follow you that would be in this. If you are in direct sales, you're in an MLM. Something that held me back for a long time was that 1980s like stereotype that all MLMs are pyramid schemes. So I
Yeah.
make that joke all the time. When if somebody says something like pyramid scheme, and I was like, the '80s called and they want your bad joke back, like life's changed. I and then I move on. Like I make fun of them and I walk away, and people just start laughing. If
Yeah.
people really push my buttons with it, I tell them that the company that first of all, my integrity is being questioned on my social media, and now you're questioning the business that I believe in
Mhm.
wholeheartedly. And I mean, the company that, you need to be with a company that you love. And I love that
Yep.
company. So I dropped a fact in my comments in front of everybody. I was like, I hope you understand that this company operates under the government's rules and is allowed to. So am I. So for you to say pyramid scheme means you are defaming my character. And
Mhm.
that's a lawsuit. So if we want to keep this pyramid scheme thing up, like, we can, but you're going to get in a lot of trouble because you're stating in front of everyone else that I'm a crook, and that is
Yep.
100% not true. So we can keep going down this path if you want. I have your social media. I know exactly where to find you.
Yeah.
Let's go. And all we really need are a couple direct sale companies to finally step up and just start legally going after these people to change it, because it's not fair. It's a stereotype.
Yeah.
So that's how to handle that one.
Look, you bring up a really good point though. It's an education. People, when someone says to me, "Oh," and my blood boiled actually about a year ago because there was a particular person I actually talked about it on the podcast because I was so angry about it and I wanted to sort of not name and shame this person, but I wanted people to understand you need to know what you're doing. If you're going to say things just like what you said, if you're going to say things about this industry, you need to know that you're right before you do it, because you're tearing down millions of people who are building a livelihood. And we all know dozens of people in this industry, right? And this particular person was someone who I admired. They were actually someone who probably the first ever convention I ever went to learn when I started my business. This was a consulting expert. He's a self-labeled consultant of consultants, the top consultant in the world who trains consultants. That's what he does. And so I really admired this person. And years later, I invited him onto my podcast, thinking I want him to share some of his amazing wisdom and knowledge with my audience, with you guys. And he did a little bit of research and came back and he went, I'm not going to help people grow pyramid businesses. I'm not going to be seen on your podcast because. And then on top of that, he questioned me and he said, I want to know, you tell me why you've decided to grow a business in this space, helping people grow pyramid sales businesses. What sort of integrity do you have? And I came back to him. I gave him all the facts, right? But the reason I bring this up is you said something very important, which is it's usually a lack of education. They just don't know. Because when someone says this to me, and it comes up a lot, right? You've got to be armed. When someone says to me, it's a pyramid scheme, ask them if they know what a pyramid scheme is. Because
Mm-hmm.
most people don't. All they know is it sounds like a bad word and it's a bad label. And it comes from bad behavior, like you said, back in the 80s, from companies who were doing illegal practices, which is not what the companies are now. So having some responses that can educate people, and maybe just ask the question, do you know what a pyramid
Mm-hmm.
selling business is? Do you know what that is? And do you know what the difference is between direct sales, MLM, network marketing, and pyramid selling? Because they
Yeah,
are really different.
they're very different. I've also found if somebody really pushes you, I mean, just delete them. Just delete them. But if you need to make a point and you're trying to utilize the conversation to educate anybody else that's watching, because that's really what you're doing,
Yeah.
um, go to that person's page, do a little research, come back and start talking about their job and watch how fast they stop. Oh, I see that you're the vice president of this company. Can you tell me how that's not a pyramid scheme? Because you probably have a ton of people underneath you that make way less and you make a lot. Seems like you have a really nice house and a really nice car. How does everyone at your company also make the same as you? Or are you just at the top? How many months of vacation do you get versus, like, I don't know, your administrative assistant? Start asking that they are never going to bother you again. Never going to bother you again.
So good. So good. Bryan, I could chat with you all day. This has been so much fun, but I really want to ask you my 4 favorite questions. Are you ready for the quick fire?
Ready.
All right. First one is, what is your favorite quote?
My favorite quote. My favorite quote is you could stay in the storm or you could be a break in the clouds.
Ooh, I love that. You could stay in the storm or be a break in the clouds. So good. Choice of attitude, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, favorite book for our accelerator book list?
All right, this is going to throw some people off, but we've actually talked about this book and what you're going to learn this entire podcast without realizing it. Do you remember how many times I said teach and reinforce?
Yes.
Don't Shoot the Dog by Karen Pryor.
Don't Shoot the Dog by Karen Pryor.
It
Okay.
is the number one first book every single animal trainer in the entire planet is told to read. And what it does is it makes you separate yourself out and try to figure out how to make that scenario as successful as possible for every single animal, which people are animals.
Yeah.
We all deal with consequences. Consequences are not bad. Consequences are either an addition or a removal of things in your environment, whether you like it or not,
Yep.
and being reinforced. Because if you can reinforce them for small steps and they feel successful, they're willing to try bigger steps.
So good.
So
Okay.
Don't Shoot the Dog by Karen Pryor,
All right.
because you'll use it in your whole life. You'll use it with your pets. You'll use it in
Yep.
your relationships. If you're a school teacher, you're gonna love that book. But also in your business,
Yeah.
you gotta give everyone time and be patient.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go straight out and grab that. That sounds like a fun read. So I know that you had a couple of other little books lined up though too, because you were
I
like, I
did, yeah.
knew I was gonna ask that question, and you flashed a couple at me that I was like, oh my goodness. Now
Hmm.
you've written a book yourself, so let's start with that one.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't wait for you to share the other one.
And I just had some lightning, and I think one of my lights went out, so hopefully the lighting's still okay. But
If he
so
just goes black, we know what happened, people.
right, my phone looks okay, but we have a lot of thunderstorms here. So I wrote for 5 years. I wrote a grief blog, and I put it all together. So the widowed dancer,
I love it. The Widowed Dancer,
and there's that
growing through
quote.
grief with gratitude. Amazing.
My favorite quote is for me because it keeps reminding me of what I got to keep doing. So the brainiac of me loves Dante's Inferno, the trilogy. So I don't know.
Mm,
But if you read this and you understand the Inferno, he has to go through hell to get to heaven.
yep.
So it's a lesson in struggle and keeping on going. And it
Mm.
fit for me in a lot of aspects of my life. Um, so that's one that surprises people. But I like to keep things fun, light, and
I sense this about
happy
you.
and happy. I still have my original copy of Cloudy with a
Look at
Chance of
that.
Meatballs.
Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. So good.
Yep.
I have not
You
seen that book
know,
for years.
oh, it's so good. And but it also shows you what, like, there's the benefits of like creating something, right? Like, and if you've seen the movie they've made too, it also fits. It's all about creating in your environment and what's going on, but is there sometimes too much of a good thing?
Yeah.
And at what point is too much of a good thing drowning out everything else? So it's cute, but it also has a great little storyline to it.
Amazing. Okay, so if you could have a superpower, any superpower, what would that be and why?
Teleportation. Because I don't want to waste my time. I
Oh,
want
no,
to
I hear.
I want to be somewhere immediately. I want to see the world. Life is short. I don't if I could just snap my fingers and be home with my family or running around Paris for a day, like I could fit in so much more. So
Yep.
that would be my number one.
Yep. Show up in front of that person that called you a pyramid scheme and have a conversation with them,
Can
right?
you imagine that?
Yeah. I would want to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Okay, last question. If you could go back in time and say one thing to your past self, what would that be?
You're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So good.
Yeah. Oh, you got me with that one. That's
Mm,
it, because that's always been, it's always been a safety concern. Safety is always, but that's all of us. A lot of us are in fight or flight all the time now. We're being chased by lions. Can
mm-hmm.
you pay your mortgage? How's your job? Do you like your boss? How are your kids? What's going on? Can you afford this? Are you going to be able to handle it? Way more than life used to be. Obviously, we've got some pretty cool, amazing technology now, and other things to help us out. But there's always that underlying. You're an animal at heart. You want to make sure that you're safe. And so I spent a lot of time worrying when I was younger. A lot of times being worried about how people would treat me if I was safe. Obviously, being gay, is my
Mm-hmm.
family going to care about me? Am I going to lose everything?
Yep.
I could have, if I could go back and tell that little kid, you're going to be just fine, I'd have a lot less worry in my life.
Yep. Yeah. Amazing way to finish up, Bryan. You have been such a pleasure, so much fun, and such a wealth of information. So thank you so much for sharing your story and joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for everything you do. Like you're driving a lot of people to just be better versions of themselves. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much. And if people want to find you, it's Sea Lion Bryan on Instagram and on Facebook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So jump across, follow Bryan. Do you have anywhere else they can locate you? Have you got a website or anywhere they can find you?
Yep. SeaLionBryan.com.
So hard. We'll put all of that in the show notes and your books that you've recommended, etc. as well. But thank you again so much, Bryan. And of course, thanks to our beautiful listeners for tuning in. We've loved having you today. I hope you have got some magical little downloads from this episode, some golden nuggets that you can apply. And just remember, it is not what you learn that gets you the growth. It's what you apply that gets you the growth. So take something from this, implement it. If it's, sharing a little story or doing a little live or providing a piece of value or just a piece of yourself, go ahead and do that today on social media. And remember what Bryan said, you are an expert on you. And I love that so much. So thanks again, Bryan.
Thanks.
Awesome. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this episode of the Direct Selling Accelerator podcast. If you love listening and you found that this was helpful for your direct selling business, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also check out the recommended video that's popped up on your screen right here. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now.